and welcome to Monopoly Tycoon, a very old game which has not been very popular, I suppose. I think it's from 2001, so it might have slipped some readers. Anyway, I think I got this in a cereal pack. Back in the days when that was a thing, where you got gifts from buying cereal things. Apparently that's wrong to advertise for kids. Anyway, this game, I have only played like a demo of it, so I've never played the real game of it, so this is all new to me. But I thought that, well, after all, I am mostly focused on playing older games, and I thought, well, why not try to get this out there in the public? I mean, it's there, right? So, yeah. Welcome to Monopoly Tycoon. So, the basics of it is that we are not like playing on a board game like normally. We are playing in a city where we have like these lots. And on these lots we can, like in normally Monopoly, we cannot place just houses or hotels. We place all kinds of services that the people of the city needs to buy, and thus we are getting the money from the sales. We can also build hotels, it's also a thing, we can build parks, and all kinds of shops. It all depends on the, what is that called? The people's needs. I think that's the best thing I can term. That's probably a bit better term for it, but that's the term I can come up right now. Anyway, we're going to play through I think there's like a scenario mode, yeah. And as you see, I have already played like some of it, and today we are going to play, I think it's the first 3 ones. Because they are like introduction to it all. So, to make sure that we make a new one, and of course we are going to be this one, as we should be, of course. So, let's dive right into it with the scenario mode. Oh, yeah, of course, there's also skirmish mode and sandbox mode, so we can also play it. Like, I think also there's maybe multiplayer. I'm not quite sure of that, but we'll be focusing on the scenario mode. And we are, of course, going for the silver cup. And that does not mean that we win the bronze cup just automatically. You have to play the same scenario all 3 times to earn all 3 cups. And I think we're just going for medium, just for like standard. We might need to further on go for bronze, but let's start with the silver cup at least. Starting out, you must make 100 sales of any commodity in order to complete this level. You will need to build businesses in order to make sales, so pick a block and get started. To see how many sales you have made in total, check sales in the player comparison panel. Let's go for it. And we are of course going to be, and there's a long description of who they are, but we are of course going to be the elusive Top Hat, of course. As a magician, Top Hat has always been one for cunning stunts and deceptive illusions. He always keeps a surprise up his sleeves or under his hat, and is prone to taking the odd risk. More often than not, you'll find Top Hat building his empire in the cheaper districts, and he usually moves quickly, if sometimes erratically, spreading confusion in his wake. He is one to watch if you enjoy a roller coaster ride. So, yeah, this is just for like single player, but we can have to have like 6 players doing the same scenario, which will, of course, be, we'll see to that later on. But let's start with this one. First off, we're just going to pause this. So, as you can see, I cannot pause it anyway. Yes, select a block, yes, blah, 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 blah. So these are the blocks that we have. We have the city map down here, you may see here. And all the white dots are potential customers for our great empire here. Also, I think, I can't remember, isn't there like, wasn't there a button for that? Yeah, here we go. So you can see which are the more rich one and which ones are the more lower price one. And I just got a thing here. We have to have using, can't we do that in here? Nope, we can't. Let me just quit quick. Because we are, of course, going to have board in Denmark. Because, well, it's where I'm from, so. Go back. Silver cup. No, scenario mode. Silver cup. There we go. Start. Nah, that's much better. So now we have all of these in Danish names. Just to confuse everybody else who's watching. So anyway, we can see what the like the points that prestige it is. And of course we're going to start here in the lower just because it's cheaper to buy down there. So what we want to do is to make sure that we can like have a survey of this block. So if we let me see here, I think here was it again? Yeah, we can buy things, but we don't want to buy things just yet. We want to see. There we go, to poll. There we go. So we can see how many who lives here. There lives 54, and we can see what the demand is, what is highest and what is lowest of demands. So right now they want movies, bread, snacks and clothing, and toys as well. They're like the top 5. Isn't it 5? Yes, 5 commodities. We can sell them. But we also have to take into account movies is doing nighttime, while some of the other stores are doing daytime. So we want to do, let's say, bread and snacks, clothing, and then a movie as well. So on this block, we're going to build. We're going to build retail, and we're going to make bread, because that was the thing they wanted. And you can make like the floors of it. Can't remember. There we go. Zoom it in here. So we can make how many floors we want. That has an influence on how much the stock is on that. So we just want it for 48. We can also change the quality of it, which will attract more rich customers or wealthy customers. And we can also change the build style, which will, yeah, just do absolutely nothing about that. So let's keep it at medium and let's build this thing. And there we go. First business is on. Again, we can also see what we wanted. Next thing is like snacks. They want a cafe. So we build a cafe right there. Let's make it a tall one. So we have more, since it's a very small one here. Make it fit into the rest. Let's put it like that and accept for that. So we also had clothing, as I recall. So we can also make a retail store of clothes store. We'll make it like a semi-big one. Can we kind of bit? Okay, let's do it like this then. Medium. Let's make it 4 floors, just because we can. No, let's do 3 floors of be sufficing. And let's see what we want here. If the camera is a little bit wanky, but still. Yeah, I kind of want this. Let's build this. And let's have the last thing to do as night businesses. Yes, we want a cinema for movies. And let's make a big one. Very tall. Again, medium. And we want the style to be... Yeah, we want this one. Let's build this one. And so we just have to have the sales for, was it like 100 or 200? I can't remember quite. But yeah, that's how it is. That's the first mission. Nothing more there. There, that's pretty much it. And then we just, well done. You were the first player to make the target number of sales, 100. So, there we go. And of course, we can see all the statistics of how it went with all these kind of things if we want to. So yeah. Next up is Homely City. Let me make sure it's Silver Cup. This level is very similar to the last, but this time there are no apartments in the city. You will need to give the citizens somewhere to live before they can start shopping. Build at least 1 apartment, then some stores in order to make 100 sales. And again, let's start like right off here. Again, as always, we will go into the map and see. So again, it will be, of course, cheapest to start down here on these ones. And just for the sake of it, let's try and go for Finstensvej, just because we can. So, first off, we have been doing retails, but now we're doing residential. And our residentials can be as big as we want. We want this to be medium quality. It also, for the residential, it determines how expensive it's going to be to live here. We want, of course, as many people in here as we can. See, do we have like a nice... Let's go for this one. And has a capacity of 54. Also, depending on how big you make it, more people can live in there. So, we start with that, and before we go into like poll for what they need, we want people to move in here. So we're just gonna wait for that to be constructed. We could also begin to expand our empire to just build everywhere else if we wanted to. But for the sake of like starting up, we're doing it the cheap way and the easiest way, just to start somewhere. So when we have this one, and we can click on the pole here, we need citizens to live here first, so we have to wait for them to live here. And we can speed things up just, there we go, people are already living here. And they demand clothing, movies, books, and toys. So we're going to build clothing, books, and toys first, and then have a movie later. Retail, let's see, bookstore. We could have a nice bookstore right here, I think, maybe. Let's see, that's two, yeah. Let's make the bookstore like this. Also medium quality. Some cheap gates. Cheap goats. I think that's the right term. Yeah, I think that's... Yeah, we'll do that. There we go. Also, we wanted... What's it? Clothes? I can't remember right now. What's it? Clothes? Clothing, books, and toys. So yeah, let's build some clothing as well. Not residential clothing. There we go. And then... Was it toys, right? Yeah, so let's have this medium, tall as we can, since there was a high demand for it around here. And let's make it the green one. And then it was toys. Toys. Did we have that up here, by the way? No. As you can see, there's plenty of things we could sell. Newsstands, toy store, there we go. Medium as well, 3 floors, and let's see if style could be fitting here. Let's do it like this. And lastly, of course, to make sure that we are also selling things during the night, which can be very important, we're going to have a cinema right... Nope. Right there. Make it as tall as we can. Medium quality. Let's see, like that. There we go. And of course, up in the right corner, we can see ourselves. We can see how much money we have, what time of day it is. And as day passes by, there is like bills and things we have to pay for having these plots here. But right now, we just need 100 sales, and we should be good to go for this one. So the game is like slowly getting you into it. Also, if you like click on your stores and stuff like that, you get information about that. But we're getting to that later on. Trust me. It will be very important later on. So for right now, we just wait for sales to boom up. Also, you may be noticing or maybe wondering, is it just the people on the block that we're selling to? No. Actually, if people are living over here at Jagtvej, we could easily attract them to get over to here to buy our stuff if our prices are cheaper than the competitors or if the demand is very high enough. You see these? These are the subways, and they can take the subways from anywhere across this city map. Yeah, so we're just not just bound to be around here, but it's not as prestigious to be here, so people are not necessarily having that much money around here. Yeah, as you may see. Also, the building's requirements doesn't have to be that high, so we can make them a little bit cheaper looking, at least. Of course, we are not selling cheap products. We are selling high-quality commodities to our citizens of this monopoly city. As one should do, of course. So yeah, just sit back and relax. The nice view of our city block right here. Ah, yes. And enjoying the view of the city as well. A very barren city, but still. Woo! Yeah, again, the camera thing is like a thing you have to like get used to. Because it's a little bit weird. And as you may notice, there's not going a lot of sales going on right now because it's beginning to be nighttime now. So nighttime is when these shops will begin to open. I think maybe we can see that, I think. I'm not entirely sure. It is open right now, and if we look at the other stores, they are closed. So this is open now, and people will hopefully get in there. We just need like 7 more sales. So 7 people going in and see the movies, and we should be done. And maybe we'll have to wait till tomorrow, but we'll see to that. Let's speed things up. It seems like we have to take another day. then we just wait. Yeah, not much going on here, but in the meantime, you could be like scouring other places and building things here if you wanted to. Also, there's a bonus for having like all of the plots, gives you further. And there we go, 6 o'clock in the morning, and 6 o'clock in the morning means that our bills are being paid. So yeah, pretty much it. You can also go and see how much cash we have, our businesses, today's profits, empire value, and stuff like that. So, yeah, but we are just focusing on getting the sales. Total sale of 100, which should be coming up soon. When the city wakes up, hopefully. Unless, of course, all of the people are dead. Now, there we go. Perfect. And 5 more to go. Well done, you were the first player to make the target number of sales. And again, we can see how it works. So that's pretty much basically of all of it. There's nothing more else to it. So the last one, for this recording at least, compete for sales. The city is well furnished with apartments, so you will need to get straight into building your business empire. There's another player in the city who will try to make the target of 200 sales before you do. Build shops that are in demand and keep the prices keen. Be the first to make 200 sales to win. Ah, the Iron. Iron could be described as a little fuzzy, sometimes getting tied up in the detail. She spent most of her working life as a maid, smoothing out the wrinkles of life. She therefore likes to have everything in its place, all neat and tidy. She will be careful to make sure that all of her businesses are running smoothly and are as profitable as possible. She may sometimes appear a little conservative when it comes to expansion, and will tend towards the more populated areas of the city. Let's see to it. So we have a few apartments up here and a few down here as well. And the focus is for us to make sales. Again, so we will be looking for where could we possibly have maybe most people living. And I think maybe we will go for Startet. That seems to be the one that has the most people on it, right? Let's see, yeah, Startet. And on Startet they want what? Clothing, bread, and books and movies. Clothing, bread, and movies. So let's get right to it, shall we? So this is a little bit high prestige, so here we can go for high. It is also affecting the cost of the building though, so we have to take that into account as well when we are building things here. I think I kind of want this one, except construction on that. They want clothing as well, as far as I remembered. High, and let's see for a style that fits. Let's go for the yellow one here. And what else, by the way? Clothing, bread, books, and also fish for daily things. What was it again? I can't remember. Clothing, we have bread, it's books and fish we're going for. I keep forgetting. We have clothing, we have bread, books, and fish. Wasn't that that was a bakery? Oh, okay. Retail, bookstore, please. There we go. I think we're gonna squeeze that one in here. High up. There we go. Maybe just put it high there, but a little bit lower here, I think. Building style. Yeah, sure. Let's go for that. Gonna have the movie over here. And then we're going for fish. Fish markets. Got that? Oh, perfect. Let's just have it like that. Put it in high. Let's see. Make someone that looks nice as well. Oh, this could be nice. Let's go for this design. And then, of course, during the nighttime, we want movies, cinema. Put that there. That was somewhat high, so let's put it there. High quality. Yeah, we're going for this one. I kind of want this. Accept. There we go. So again, we need to be the first one to make 200 sales. And as you can see now, we have our iron competitor right there in our heels. And we can also see where she's buying and which customers she has, by the yellow dots moving around. So white ones have not made any sales, and the colored one has made sales to that respective competitor, or me. Yeah, but we can also steal them if, as it said, our prices should be keen. If you look at our store, we can go in and I think there's a place, yeah, there we go. We can change the price, how much stock we want, how much our selling price should be, and we should always be looking out for like what is her selling price. I think we can see that, yes. We're going to see she's selling clothes for 30 kronas as well. If we lower that price, it will attract more people to our shop, even though it's on the other end of the city. Of course, it has to be very attractive in order to do that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Also, we have chance cards. Chance card. If you are the owner of Elværket, compensate customers for brownouts. No charge will be made for electricity tomorrow. And well done, you were the first player to make the target number of sales. And so now it gets a little bit more interesting, because now we can compare to our competitors. Also, this can be very useful for when we lose the game, which I will of course do plenty of times, to learn what needs to be done. As you can see, I am a very big spender right off, which is maybe not so good, but anyway, it may be changing over time. So yeah, that will be it for now. Next time we will be having more competitors and 3,000 kronas for a daily profit, which, if I recall correctly, when I just dipped into the game, it is gonna be very difficult. So that's gonna be great, isn't it? So that will be a Monopoly Tycoon for now. Even though it's a very short one, it's just like an appetizer to showing off the game. And also, I don't know how many missions there are, so I'm kind of like going in the blind here, or in the dark, like figuring out how long these videos should be. But I guess time will tell for how long and how many I will make during each recording. So, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in another one. Bye for now.